Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back. Okay, today's video, I have some amazing recommendations for you, and they all have in common that they are wintry reads. In that, I mean wintry settings. They're set in the cold, the snow. 6 of these I will highly recommend that I have read, and then I have 4 that are on my radar or on my shelves that I want to pick up maybe this winter season. So let's just get started with the books that I've read. No particular order, but the first one is Kate Quinn's The Diamond Eye. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This was so good. I love Kate Quinn. As many of you know, she is a great historical fiction writer. You really can't go wrong with any of her titles. This one, we are following Mila Pavlichenko. I'm probably not saying that correct, but she is a World War II deadly female sniper. She starts off as a librarian. She's raising her son, and she gets pulled into this war. She is known to the Nazis as the Lady of Death. When she makes her 300th kill, she becomes famous, and she is pulled out of the war and sent to Washington, D.C. There she makes a kind of this unexpected relationship with Lady Eleanor Roosevelt, which I really enjoyed those parts of the books. We have, let's say, without spoiling, an enemy from the war that comes back into the picture, and it takes it from there. She is a real person in real life, and I think the story is amazing. It says, based on a true story, The Diamond Eye is a haunting novel of heroism born of desperation, of a mother who became a soldier, and of a woman who found her place in the world and changed the course of history forever. So this, again, great recommendation. Almost the entirety of the book is set in a snowy setting. So good. Next one I have 5 stars on my top 12 of this year is The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhon. I've only read one other one by her. They were both good, but this one is by far better in my opinion. We are following another real life female in our history. Her name is Martha Ballard, and it takes place in 1789 Maine. She is a midwife and healer to the people in the town that she lives, and she knows a lot of what goes on behind closed doors. She keeps this diary of every birth and death in her surrounding area. There was a rape that happened. So trigger for rape in this. But there was a rape that happened, and 2 of the men that are accused are very prolific in the town. And so one of them ends up dead, found frozen in the river. And so Martha is called in to kind of do an autopsy, kind of see what's going on, cause of death. She disagrees with the men in this story about the cause of death. So you kind of follow that story. I loved this very layered story, and she is just such an amazing woman, such a strong female character. I loved the relationship between her and her husband in this book. It was so special. He supported her even when most women were not believed in this day and age. Their word was not taken for truth a lot of the times. And there's a scene in this book I will never forget that is very graphic, but it was so good. This is another highly recommended 5-star read from me. And the next one, sorry about the lighting, guys. Again, winter in Ohio. The next one is No Exit by Taylor Adams. When you read this book, you feel like you're holding your breath and you cannot breathe for the whole 300 pages. I just want to warn you. This is so action-packed, page-turning. Honestly, it's probably on the top 3 or 4 thrillers with that trope where I could not put it down. I'm not doing it justice by explaining it. But this one you're following a girl who is on her way home to her family. There's a snowstorm that rolled in, so she stops at an exit. And at this exit, there's a couple people in this restaurant/exit. And she goes out to make a phone call to try to tell her family that, hey, I might not make it tonight. We're stuck in a snowstorm. I'm pulled over. And she sees a little girl in a cage in the back of a truck. And she knows that someone in that building that she is stuck there is responsible for having this girl in the back of their truck. So you follow that And like I said, you can't breathe. You can't put this down. This is so suspenseful. So good. I want this to be made into like a TV movie or a real movie. I think it would be so good. All right, 5 stars again. All right, next we're going to switch it up a little bit, and we're going to talk about a romance. I have mentioned this before, so I won't go into too much detail, but that is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I love this. 5 stars, probably on the top of my romances of all time that I've read. It takes place in Alaska. You have a rugged pilot. You have a girl who goes home to try to grieve her father's death, and it's a love story. A lot of really great, beautiful descriptions of Alaska in here. So that was another 5 stars. Okay, the other 2 that I want to recommend, I don't have on my shelves right now. So I'll pop up a picture, but Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I lent this out to a friend and I have not gotten it back. It's been a couple years, so I'm kind of just marking it as gone. It's on my radar to pick up another hardcover copy. 5 out of 5 stars. This one takes place in the Scottish Highlands. We're following Adam and Amelia. They went to this remote cabin to kind of go on a little bit of a retreat to either save or end their marriage. They're really struggling. Adam suffers from a unique condition where he has face blindness. He is also grieving the tragic death of his mother. And so they go there. They're, like I said, they're trying to fix or end their marriage. It's really kind of cool because throughout the book, you get a letter from Amelia written to her husband, Adam, for each year of their marriage, like each anniversary. So that gives you that past timeline of what their relationship looks like, what's going on, and then you fast forward to the present day where they're stuck in this snowy cabin. I really liked how the anniversary letters moved along the plot. I thought that was so unique. And this book will have so many unique plot points and twists that I will be shocked if they don't surprise you. This book shocked me. I didn't see any of it coming. It was so good. And talk about a cold, wintry, isolated setting. It was wonderful. Then the last one I want to recommend that I've read, another 5 out of 5 stars, Winter Garden by Kristin Hannah. This is one of my top 2 favorite Kristin Hannah books. I don't hear it talked about too often. Somehow I don't own a copy. I did at one point. But, you know, making these videos puts things back on my radar. So now I'm on the lookout for the Winter Garden. But we're following 2 sisters, Meredith and Nina. Meredith, I believe, is the one that was a stay-at-home mom. She is managing her family's, like, apple orchard farm. And then the other sister is a photojournalist that, like, travels the world. They have a very rocky, kind of estranged relationship with their mother. She's kind of cold and judgmental, kind of distant from her daughters, but the girls have a really great relationship with their father. And so their father gets sick, and so they come back home to be with their father, and the father's like dying wish is to please reconnect with your mother, give her another chance. There was a fairy tale, a Russian fairy tale that their mom always told the girls growing up. And so he says, please let me have her tell you the fairy tale one more time. And the fairy tale takes you back into a past timeline, and it's really their mother's story. The past timeline of their mother's story is during war. It's in Leningrad. They learn lots of secrets about their mother, and this book made me cry. It was so good. I loved the twist of the Russian fairy tale. Very well done. Highly recommend. If you like Kristin Hannah, her more recent works, and you haven't heard of this one, check this one out. It's perfect for winter. Okay, now we're going to talk about 4 books that are on my radar I have not read. The first one, I actually checked out and returned, and now it's on hold again from the library. But Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. You are going to have a very isolated, snowstormy, claustrophobic setting, which I love that about stories with winter snowy settings. But it takes place in the Rocky Mountains. And we have our main character who goes on this kind of adventure camping trip with like other people that she doesn't know. And And she's just trying to get away from her life, get a fresh start, have an adventure. And they end up having to take shelter in an abandoned hunting cabin because a huge, like, record-breaking snowstorm rolls in. So she's in this hunting cabin with the tour guide and these, I think, 8 strangers. And the tour guide goes missing. And then they find the tour guide the next day murdered outside in the snow. And I think it has a little bit of the, like, Agatha Christie and Then There Were None trope where one is killed off and then another and then another. So that sounds really good. I did try a chapter and liked it, so I'm anxious to put that back on my list because of the wintry setting for this winter. The next one I think would be fun to read back to back and kind of compare, or the same month and compare and contrast. And that is Sanatorium by, oh gosh, here it is, Sarah Pearse. I think this is it's a detective story, I believe, and I think this is one of 3 that are published so far, if I'm correct. I'm not sure, but this one takes place in the Swiss Alps. She, what is her name? Ellen. Yeah, Ellen, I believe, is a detective or a police officer, something like that. But Ellen goes to a 5-star hotel. She's very reluctant in going. It's hard for her to leave work, etc., etc. But her brother is getting engaged, and he really wants her to come. So she reluctantly goes to this hotel to celebrate her brother's engagement. And we have another storm that isolates and cuts everyone off. And the bride-to-be goes missing. She disappears. And then all the guests start to panic. So very similar, but different place, but same setting. Definitely probably maybe a 1-by-1 kill off in each of these. I don't know. But that's one I haven't read, but that sounds really good as well. The next one I have is The Ice Princess by Camilla Lackberg. This is translated. She is a, I think, Swedish author, if I'm, correct. And I believe this is the beginning of a series as well. It was kind of hard for me to find out. I think there's 7 or 11 books, I believe, in the series, but I could not find out how many have been translated into English. So we shall see. I guess I will do more digging if I enjoy this one. This one is following Erica Falk. She returns back to her hometown in Sweden after her parents' death. And when she gets there, she finds another tragedy. Her childhood best friend she finds with her wrist slit and frozen in her bathtub. And that's where the story picks up. I think she teams up with someone else and tries to solve these murders. I think they have a little bit of a romance as well. But yeah, sounds good. I like a good detective series. So this one's on my radar. Okay, the last book. I'm really losing light here, you guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, the last book I don't own. I tried to buy it at Barnes & Noble when I was there, but it was sold out. So maybe I can get it from the library, but it's The Christmas Murder Game by Alexandra Benedict. So I think she has 3 different titles that are like mystery, murder mystery kind of vibes that are all Christmas. So I'm hoping to get my hands on another one, or this one. But yeah, so we are following Lily. It's another book with a secluded, isolated setting. You're kind of getting a theme here. But Lily, who has not been home for over 21 years, her mother was murdered, I believe. And so she leaves home. And so she goes on with her life. For 20 years, she's haunted by her mother's murder and by this childhood home. She gets a letter one day from her aunt saying, come home, play this game, fix these riddles, and not only will you get the deed to the house, but you will also find... I will also give you the identity of your mother's murderer. So she goes home, there's 12 clues, there's 12 keys, and she has to solve these riddles to be able to get her, get the answers, basically, of who killed her mom and get the deed to this house that she grew up in. So that sounds really great. I love books about with like games, like inheritance games kind of vibes. I think that's a lot of fun, and I think this sounds really good. I'm hoping to get my hands on one of her titles and give her a try this this winter. So there you have it. There are 10 Wintery recommendations. I hope I suggested something that maybe you haven't heard of or maybe sounds really good to you and it gets you to pull it off your shelf this winter. Happy reading. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks. Bye.